Hello there everyone, and to all of my happy crafters out there, I thank you so much for tuning in to 12 Days of Christmas, which of course consists of 12 episodes of Artsy Crafts with me, your host, Maria Young. Now today is a very special, very sentimental episode, because even though this is the very first episode, today is opposite day! Meaning that this is not actually the first, it's the last. Trust me, there's a method to my madness. You see, when I first started doing this series, I wanted to keep it in chronological order. So what I had to do is start with the 12th episode and move forward. So I started with the 12th, moved to 11th, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and now we are at 1. So, even though the first is the last, meaning that all of our episodes have already been created and have already been posted. So, if you guys have not tuned into those 12 episodes, make sure that you go ahead and check them out, because I shared with you guys some phenomenal, fantabulous ideas. So, check them out. But what we're going to do at the end of this episode is we're going to go ahead and commemorate all 12 days. And we're really going to highlight on some of the phenomenal ideas just for you. Okay, so very special project today as well. One of my favorite projects. What I did here is I created these ribbon trees, which are actually tabletop display ornaments. And I used a wide assortment of ribbons. These trees actually were inspired by another channel. She goes under the name of Fuzzy Dragon 1, and she had some amazing Christmas tabletop trees as well. And I was very much inspired, wanted to create my own, so definitely had to do that. Of course, I added a little twist to it, but definitely thank you, Fuzzy Dragon 1. And of course, if you guys have not checked her out, please be sure to do so, because she has some amazing arts and craft activities and projects, and also some very scrumptious recipes as well. So you guys will definitely not be disappointed. Fuzzy Dragon 1 again. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you some of the materials that we will be using today to make our fabulous Christmas tree table displays. Okay, first and foremost is our handy dandy glue gun and glue sticks. Of course, an assortment of ribbon. Definitely like to give dimension and different patterns and textures. Also, what I decided to incorporate is some jingle bells, some pine cones, some bows, and a poinsettia flower, which I will be using the petals off of these to decorate the tree as well. And let's not forget that you definitely will need to use some scissors very safely. We will be using some cardboard as well to make the foundation of the tree. Alright, so let us begin. Okay folks, now there's two types of designs that you can do. You can actually do one that looks like somewhat of a forked tongue or a snake tongue, where you cut an upside down V into the ribbon. And this is what this is right here. Has a wire so you can form it and you can shape it. Or you could do like an upside down arrow method, which looks like this. And that would sit flat like these ones do. So two ways you can do it, and again, it's just really all up to you and what you prefer. First thing you're going to do is decide what size you want your ribbon. Once you have the size, use that first one as your template, and of course start cutting some more. Okay. And you're just going to cut as many as you need. And I can't give you an exact number, because depending on the size of your tree will depend on how many of these you will need. Now, of course, the simple thing to do for the forked tongue is just simply cut an upside down V. And there you go. Voila. That simple, that easy. Okay? And then, of course, if you are wanting to make that upside down arrow shape, all you do is take the two ends and then take them to a point where they meet, and that is where you will be gluing it down. Make sure they are even, so you'll have an even little upside down arrow thingy majiggy. And of course be cautious, because you know glue gun is very, very hot, or the glue of the glue gun is hot. Definitely don't want to burn yourself. So here you go, folks. It's that upside down arrow. That easy, that simple, folks. And as you can see, I've already prepared some here. Now what I'm also doing in this one is I've actually taken a poinsettia flower, and I've just simply cut the petals just like that, because I'll be using these petals as branches. Okay, folks, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and show you how to make the foundation of the tree, which of course is the cone shape. Now what I've done is I've taken poster board paper and I've cut a half circle. Now after I cut that half circle, I took 1/4 of it and I cut that out as well, so it's a smaller triangle. I cut that out, and what that's going to do is it's going to make it easier for you to conform the cone that you want. So here I'm just forming it to where I want it. Now of course you see that it's a little bit longer here, but that's okay. I'm going to cut that off, and you're not going to see you're not going to see the cone at the bottom anyway, because everything is going to be glued over with ribbons. So don't fret, folks. Okay, and I'm just going to cut that little edge right there off. Okay, so now that we have our cone shape, what we're going to do now, folks, is we're going to go ahead and cut a piece of ribbon, and we're going to cover the bottom edge. Okay, and all I'm going to do here, folks, and never mind the top of it. Of course, it's a cylinder cone shape, so it's not going to fit right, but we'll show you exactly how we're going to make it to where that won't be a problem. So of course, put your glue down. I'm going to glue it to the very edge right there, folks, just to cover that cone bottom here. I'm going to do that throughout. And of course, don't worry about how it looks too much at the bottom. All of that is going to be covered up, so it's nothing to lose your mind over, of course. And what you could do here, because mine was a little bit longer, you could probably just cut it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut mine. And then I'm just going to pull it together right there. Okay. Now as you can see, it's a little bit, it doesn't sit flush. And all you have to do is just cut the tip here and there and everywhere. And it's going to allow it to kind of allow you to maneuver it to where you could at least get it somewhat flat. And of course, don't worry about it being perfect. You're not going to see it again, folks. So. That's about it, folks. That's as perfect as it's going to get, okay? Now we're going to start working on the ribbon branches. So I'm going to find a way where I want it to sit at. And of course I'm going to bend it in the shape I think I want it. And that looks pretty much where I want it. So let me go ahead and mark the spot. I'm going to go ahead and mesh the top part together. And be very cautious, folks. A very hot glue, very hot glue. Try to hold this down without burning yourself, folks. So that is the first ribbon. And then we're just going to keep on doing that throughout. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here, because this is where this one's going to sit at. I'm going to mesh it together again. You can bend it up where you're going to have your branches. And move on to the next. And what you're trying to do is really try to even space it out. Okay, so after you've got the first layer of ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and begin to use this one right here, and that's your arrow pointing downwards. And you see how that covers up? You're going to intertwine it where it's going to sit in between with the where their lower branches were. Okay, so mark your spot right here. There you go. And this is actually the final finished project here. I decided to bring a lot of natural elements into this tree, using a lot of miniature pine cones and some sticks and some natural fibers. Also decided to keep this elegant by incorporating the golds. Added some spiral ribbon, kind of making this some sort of garland, and also again this natural fiber throughout the tree as well. And I just incorporated a lot of shapes here, a lot of beautiful shapes. And of course our topper is, I think, the magnificent part of the entire tree here. Just really quite stunning. I didn't use a star, used jingle bells and ribbons and just an assortment of different ornaments here, just to really give it texture. And that's my most favorite part of the tree. And of course you can see the poinsettia petals in this. I'm just really impressed with this tree here. And again, what I did is I put, of course, ribbon material at the base, and I explained not to be so fussy about that because you don't really see that, as you can tell.
And then of course the poinsettia petals, the pine cones, little ornamental balls throughout, fibers, spiral shape. I also put some grapevine twigs in here as well, just to give it just unique shape, and just the assortment of different ornaments here. Really in love with this tree, folks. Really, really in love with this tree. And of course the two types of ribbon that I put, or the designs I put on this ribbon, of course, is that snake tongue kind of shape, and then of course that down arrow type of shape as well. So I incorporated both. You guys can do whatever you guys want to do, wherever your imagination takes you, as I have shown you here. You don't have to stick with the norm. You can go traditional, add a little bit of modern in this, of which I think I did here, especially when I did not use a star and just went off of my creativity. Didn't use a star, but wanted pizzazz, so definitely think I did that here. Okay, folks, and I wanted to just take a moment to show you my other trees that I made, because I made 3 more other trees. This is my white and silver tree here, and I used 2 types of ribbon, of course using that kind of tongue, the snake tongue shape. And as you can see, I used 2 types of ribbon, a mesh ribbon and also a semi-white transparent ribbon. Also incorporated this tree with oversized balls. Really didn't know how that would work, kind of an experiment. But you know what? I really love the dimension in size. I have your larger balls, but of course if you look closely I have your smaller pearl balls. And if you look even closer, I have small strands of pearls here as well. So definitely, again, different dimensions in size. And I just love the way that, you know, the ribbon, the way it was cut, really allows you to transform it into snowy white branches here. And of course, if you look at the top, I did use a star, but I did it in a unique way. I added this mesh ribbon that's throughout the tree, and I went ahead and put an ice chunk in here, which is this, and then I also added another pearl here, and it kind of gives you, I don't know, I imagine a tropical kind of like beach flair to this. Just a really nice design for the topper. This is my very fun, very whimsical tree. I used a polka dot pink and white ribbon. Of course, I incorporated the mesh ribbon into this as well. And then I added all sorts of ornaments in this tree, including very nice, beautiful pins, as you can see here. And it's all up to your heart's desire on what you want to put into your Christmas tree. This is actually my favorite pin right here, and as you can see, I also added little crystal beads that dangle down here as well throughout the tree, just giving it nice texture and nice shine here. And as my topper, I went ahead and used a magenta, very sparkly, flat surface snowflake on here, and I added some pedazzle here, another experimental word, pedazzle here, which of course is a part of that tinsel garland, and I just took a piece out of that. This is our final tree that we created here, which is our variation of gold. And as you can see here, of course, I added that mesh material ribbon. I love, love, love this ribbon. It just gives such a texture to the entire tree. I added this really ruffled ribbon right here. As you can see, ooh, nice texture, nice texture here. And of course I incorporated little ornaments, little balls throughout, the spiral shape here. And this as well, I used both types of design, kind of the fork tongue here, and then also down here, of course, the flattened down arrow shape, and here as well. And what I really love to do, folks, as you can see, I just like to use a multitude of different types of ribbon. Just gives it such a dimension, such an effect. I don't like to stick with just one type of ribbon. As you can see here, I have this type, and then the foil type, the mesh, of course, And then I also have this really soft, silky ribbon as well. And moving on to the top here, I went ahead and as the topper, I made bows. Tin foil or golden tin bows to top my ornament. And of course I added that mesh ribbon and some of my ball ornaments here. I think that really turned out well. And those are my Christmas tree, folks. I thank you so much for tuning in and really getting an inside scoop on how to make tabletop trees. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope it gave you some fabulous ideas for your own creation.
Okay, folks, well, that's going to be it. This is the end, our grand finale of the 12 days of Christmas, and I really want to say thank you so much for tuning in, spending this special time with me here, and kind of just sharing in the holiday festivities. I hope that my series has inspired you to create your very own artsy crafts. You have what it takes, and you can do anything you put your mind to, so definitely get out there and start creating, folks. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take a ride through memory lane in all of our 12 episodes and share the crafts that we've done in commemoration of the 12 days of Christmas. Again, thank you so much. Please subscribe, please comment, and if you guys have a suggestion on a craft that you guys would like to see, please let me know that as well. And that is it, folks. Mwah, mwah. Love you guys, and stay tuned for more episodes of Artsy Crafts with your host, Maria Young.